Well, welcome and good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the President and CEO of the Scranton Area Foundation, Laura Duchessi, and the President and CEO of the Wayne County Foundation, Ryan Jennings, to the stage.
Thank you all for coming tonight. We're grateful to have our long-term Women in Philanthropy members here and guests. Women in Philanthropy, as so many of you know, was founded when a small gathering of visionary women came together, believing that charitable individuals in northeastern Pennsylvania would be interested in joining forces to support transformative efforts for women, girls, and their families. And to date, over 125 generous supporters have made contributions of their time, talents, and financial support towards so many important initiatives that have transformed and exceeded what we could all honestly have imagined 10 years ago when we started. Women in Philanthropy has continued and expanded so many successful programs and projects like financial confidence, STEAM education, entrepreneurship, and micro lending, and health and wellness, dental care. And this year, we also made some really great strides in civic engagement and advocacy, childcare, and attainable housing. In this quarter, we developed an exciting new partnership with Century Dental to expand the Building Confidence Smiles program for dental care. And Dr. Jason Hanyon and his incredible team at Century Dental, plus the wonderful existing partnership that we've had for years with Scranton Primary Health, Joe Hollander, and Dr. Mannion and his team, continue to make restorative dentistry a possibility for so many women to feel confident as they move forward in seeking additional employment, education, and just putting their best face forward. So we continue to look forward to the future of women in philanthropy and the ways that we can impact our community. This year it's exciting because, as I said, we are celebrating 10 years of Women in Philanthropy, and there's so many more things that we have planned to come. We look forward to honoring the accomplishments that Women in Philanthropy supporters have made possible this fall at our annual gathering, and honoring how you have not only contributed your time, your talent, but your treasure to make these things happen. And throughout history, Women in Philanthropy has provided over $125,000 in grants. This year, a record 34 organizations serving either Lackawanna County, Wayne County, or both counties submitted a grant application. Tonight, we're going to hear from 10 of these organizations. Much of the evening is going to be focused on a grant distribution directed by you, our generous supporters. Just this evening alone, over $40,000 will be provided to support organizations doing transformative work for women, girls, and their families. And as we continue to expand WIP's important initiatives in the community and the impact it's having on so many women, girls, and their families, I am thrilled to share an evening with Ryan Jennings, CEO of the Wayne County Community Foundation. This evening, we welcome supporters and guests of the newly formed Women in Philanthropy chapter in Wayne County.
Thank you so much, Laura. I am just so thrilled to be here this evening. This has been an idea and culmination for many years that I've been kind of secretly talking to the staff at Scranton Area Foundation as I've been a WIP supporter and coming to these wonderful and inspiring grant-making sessions and other task force meetings. And I thought, why can't this happen in Wayne County? And instead of doing it ourselves and doing our own smaller version and learning from Scranton Area, which we could have done, many of the nonprofits that serve Wayne County also serve Lackawanna residents and vice versa. And we work so collaboratively with the Scranton Area Foundation on a regular basis, and I thought, why not be inspired together to give to these causes that support women and girls? Just in February, we had an initial stakeholder meeting of donors that and friends that I knew would be interested in supporting this, and the response was absolutely outstanding. And so this is just the first event that they've come together. We've only met by Zoom, and we're thrilled that they've brought friends and family members to be inspired by the nonprofits that are working day in and day out to serve our communities, particularly our women and girls. And so I hope you leave today as inspired as I am entering this building. And without further ado, to keep everything moving for those 10 presentations, here we are for Amy Betts. Thank you.
I'm always ambitious with my agenda, so I'm going to talk quickly, so keep your ears peeled. So as Laura mentioned, and Ryan as well, we have 10 organizations that were chosen to present today, and I'm excited. I can see the nerves in the room. This is a fantastic group of presentations we're about to see. So you in the room, if you are a member of Women in Philanthropy, have the opportunity to make a decision about how our funds are presented. So when you walked in and got your program, you should have gotten a voting ballot. If you are a member of Women in Philanthropy in good standing and did not get a ballot, please raise your hand and one of our Scranton Area Foundation members will get a ballot to you. If you are from Wayne County, oh geez, there we go. If you're from Wayne County, it's a green ballot. From Lackawanna County, it is blue. I just want to let you know you're welcome to write on these, but you will turn them in. So feel free to make notes, but you will turn these in. Our job is to calculate your thoughts and your allocation of funding. Remember, we have $30,000 from Lackawanna County and $11,000 from Wayne County, and your ballot should total that amount at the bottom. Not under and not over, so do your math. We'll give you plenty of time to do your math, to get another drink and some food at the end of the presentations. So we did build some time in for that. If you are a presenter, here's some things you need to know. This is cutting in and out, so just so you know that, keep going. We have a few people staged around the room for you. So we have a timekeeper. Cassie, will you raise your hand? She will keep you to your 10-minute time. We ask you to give about 5 to 6 minutes of a presentation. Then you have some time for questions. I am super thrilled for our first presentation from Lackawanna Sanctuary. I'm going to welcome Natalie and Nicole to the stage.
Hi everyone, it's so lovely to be here tonight. We can't wait to present to you what we have based in ecological learning. I'm Natalie Wasilchak, and I'm the Assistant Director of Environmental Education at Lackawanna Sanctuary.
My name is Nicole Sewell, and I am the Assistant Director of School Programs at Lackawanna Sanctuary.
And for those of you who don't know what Lackawanna Sanctuary is a 550-acre environmental field station on the south shore of Lake Wallenpaupack by the Sterling Marina. We have many opportunities for education, research, and preservation. So our main focus here is on both education and research. We have started a program in the past known as PEER, and I believe a few years ago it was presented here before. When it was presented, it was a program for everybody in Wayne County and Lackawanna County. We would like to revamp the PEER program and target it to young women in Wayne and Lackawanna counties and have them come for different opportunities in both research and education. Nicole has gone through the STEAM for All and PEER program with her background, and she's going to present to you a little bit of her prior knowledge on it.
So in high school, I had the fantastic opportunity to be part of Women in STEAM. Based off of what I learned from that, I learned that I had a larger voice than once I thought. We were able to collaborate with local universities, get early admission days, understand the need for women in STEAM, and be able to present any data that we had from classes and the program. It was a huge influence in the path that I've chosen today and the lifelong mentorships and collaborations and peers that I've had throughout my life. So I credit a lot of what I learned from who I am today to Women in STEAM.
Thank you. So our program PEER is known as Pathways in Ecological Research. Our Pathways in Ecological Research will target women, young women specifically, in grades 8 through 11 in schools from Wayne and Lackawanna County. We want these women to come from diverse backgrounds. So we're looking for everyone to be included. We would like women from diverse backgrounds in ethnicity, LGBTQ+, financial backgrounds, and even women who are in the autism spectrum. Our top picks for school districts right now, as we've been kind of in the process of creating this program, is predominantly looking at Title I schools first, and then opening it up to other schools so that we can get everybody included. Under this program specifically, we will be looking at mentorship with LACWAC staff. I have a background in wildlife biology and environmental biology, and Nicole has a really super amazing background.
I have a background in theatrical lighting design and biochemistry.
So between both of us, we kind of have a mishmash of engagement. We would also like to engage students with women professionals within the STEAM field. So professionals that are in science, math, arts, mathematics, technology, and environmental education specifically. With this program, we would also have rigorous field and laboratory opportunities for students to engage in so that they get the hands-on learning approach and not just virtual. So we kind of have a mix of virtual, in-classroom programs, and also field research. And then with our peer program, we would have student-led research. So with this student-led research, over the course of 12 weeks, they would create a project, and at the end of the research, they would present it at a data presentation and symposium with local STEAM professionals throughout both Wayne and Lackawanna County. And I think this would be a really great opportunity for not only them, but professionals to collaborate with our students as well and to make lifelong connections. So with this, we are looking to collaborate with other organizations as well, universities such as Johnson College, the University of Scranton, and even Stroudsburg University. And with our peer program, we really want to equip our girls with knowledge and empower them to become the best professionals, STEAM professionals that they can, give them the skills that we really didn't have within our schools, and make sure that we are giving them what they need to tackle pressing global challenges and create a more inclusive, equitable world for everybody. Thank you. Oh, that's okay. It's a 12-week program. So it would start in the beginning of the school year. We would be giving these schools applications, working with local STEAM directors, science teachers, anyone who's in the STEAM mathematics department, and we would be having applications sent out to these students. They would fill them out and they would join the program. This would be a scholarship-based program, so nobody would have to pay, and that would be great for them because they could come to LACWAC and we can give them all that they need, and it would be a 12-week program.
How many students? There was a question.
Oh, we're looking to start off with 20 students in both Wayne and Lackawanna County. Next year, if the program goes as well as we want it to, we would like to open it up to more students and have it run for either 2 12-week programs, a fall semester and a spring semester, or open it up to more students within the areas. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Next presenters to the stage. With Women's Resource Center, we have Hilda and Mackenzie. If you'd like to come to the podium. Before we start their presentation, I do want to note on the ballots, if there's a star, a little asterisk by the name, that means that that organization is serving, as you can tell, both Lackawanna and Wayne counties. So there are 2 organizations tonight that will appear on both counties' ballots. So I just want to make sure I pointed that out. And with that, your 10 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Hilda Rodriguez, and I'm here with Mackenzie. We are housing advocates at the Women's Resource Center. But we go by WRC now. We have recently rebranded with a tagline, "We respect and care."
Since 1976, WRC has provided services that support justice, autonomy, restoration, and safety for adult and childhood survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, dating violence, stalking, and human trafficking in both Lackawanna and Susquehanna counties. The programs at WRC are free and confidential to meet the needs of the domestic violence and sexual assault survivors from diverse ethnic, cultural, racial, socioeconomic backgrounds. WRC utilizes a holistic approach, providing crisis advocacy services, safe housing, rental assistance and housing supports, and civil and legal representation for survivors. In our last fiscal year, WRC provided services to 1,695 survivors of domestic violence and 433 survivors of sexual abuse. WRC was able to provide emergency safe housing for 100 families and responded to over 8,900 hotline calls. WRC provides prevention education in schools and has a medical advocate that provides education and outreach to health professionals.
Every day, WRC supports survivors through counseling, economic advocacy as they endeavor to separate from an abusive relationship. The only way for survivors to gain independence and remain free and safe is obtaining housing and access and resources to support themselves and their children. Recovering from economic abuse, which is more common than physical abuse, requires time and resources. WRC plays a crucial role in supporting survivors in our community towards a life free from violence and financial independence. Each family we assist not only finds refuge from the cycle of abuse, but also reduces the burden on community resources. Economic abuse, which often precedes or accompanies physical abuse, can dismantle an individual's entire financial support structure, leaving them vulnerable and without resources. Even post-pandemic, many families are in crisis, struggling with limited resources and facing unique challenges. One of the most pressing needs identified is safe and affordable housing. The current market conditions, marked by soaring rents and a scarcity of available units, pose significant barriers for survivors seeking stability. Therefore, the initiative aims to complement the rental assistance we provide by empowering them towards financial self-sufficiency and improved quality of life.
The Economic and Advocacy Project at WRC seeks to increase the economic well-being of survivors by addressing the myriad housing and economic needs that are directly linked to their ability to escape violence and/or stay out of the abusive relationship. This project focuses on housing and financial stability. Advocates provide financial education through guest speakers at our monthly dinner meetings and referrals to the Match Savings Program. WRC will invest WIP funding to provide flexible resources to meet the varying needs of survivors. There are often one small time expenses that occur to access housing, install security cameras and new locks, replace identification, purchase furniture, small appliances, kitchenware, and clothing. A survivor may need to complete their GED to obtain employment or require assistance with transportation, such as repairing their car, getting them gas cards, or assisting them with bus passes. The ability to be flexible is very crucial to the success of this endeavor. All of these small one-time investments provide survivors the opportunity and ability to live a life free from violence.
Thank you. This is our first time doing this. We were asked to do this, so we're very nervous. So thank you so much for bearing with us. Keep trying.
Well, it is my great pleasure now to introduce our next project, the Cooperage Project, and welcome to the stage Aria and Amanda.
Let's get this party started! Sorry, I'm going to be the joker of the evening. I do want to start with, well, first of all, my name is Era Fisher. I'm the Executive Director at the Cooperage Project. This is my colleague Amanda Masters. She's our Youth Program Manager. And we also brought along a stakeholder friend and Cooper's volunteer, Lisa Corcoran. We'll get to her in a minute. We have handouts here that are on your table, just a few, the colorful ones. And we made a big mistake that I want to just draw attention to since this is about women and girls. We here under the Coop Camp side, it says 26% female. That's actually 46% female. So I just wanted to correct that before we get started. The Cooperage Project is located in Honesdale. If you're not familiar with us, we are a nonprofit community building center. Our mission is to build community around an array of programs, from youth programs to food programs to arts and culture. We're here today to talk about food, or not food, we're here to talk about youth programs today, two of which are Coop Camps and Pop-Up Club. Pop-Up Club is one of our flagship youth programs. It's for middle school students, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. We are now in 3 school districts. It's an after-school STEAM program, and it's centered around hands-on projects. Every day is something different. We build it from what's right in our community. And Coop Camps is a newer program that is a program for the summer camps. It's summer enrichment, and that's for grades 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and we are in our 2nd year, about to launch our 2nd year. And more on both those programs, the specifics, there's some fun facts on each of those on the sheet. And also, please ask us questions. We're ready for them. Out of school time and after school is really important for the student, especially if there's not supervision in those after school hours or in those summer hours. And 6th grade is really hard. There's not a lot of programs designed for 6th grade students, which is, Lisa can attest to that as well, why the program was started. There's in the 3 W's, the school districts we serve, it is limited to sports are 7th and 8th grade. So 6th grade is a big gap. That's how that program was started. Amanda here is going to talk a little bit more about the specifics of the program and the impact of funding from Women in Philanthropy. But I'm here just to kind of connect the dots around out of school time and the importance and the gap in rural communities, especially with the funding and for programs. The camps in Wayne County in the summer, as a parent with school-age kids or younger, there's a lack of options, and often we had to bring our kids in, many times. So we are really excited that we're able to create programs that benefit working parents, working women, and our children. So Amanda, I will dive to you next here.
Thank you. So specifically thinking about the impact that support from women in philanthropy would make, I gotta hold it like Paula Abdul. Thinking of Coop Camps were born because, as Erin mentioned, there's not a lot of options in Wayne County. Our most affordable and most comprehensive option in terms of length of hours in a day is the YMCA's day camp, which filled within 24 hours. I checked today, they still have 30 people on the wait list. So we really have a need for just options to begin with, and especially affordable options. So support from funders like yourselves help us make Coop Camps as inexpensive as possible, because our target audience are just local residents who live full-time in Wayne County. We are charging this year for a 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. camp. It's $125 for the week. We offer scholarships to anyone who asks, so we have 28% of our enrolled campers coming for $50 to $75 in the week. Of the families that we're serving, we have 22% were registered, moms registered their kids and didn't list a second guardian. We're presuming that they may be a single parent household. 11% of the campers have disclosed medical or behavioral diagnoses that we welcome and will work with, and of them 51% are returning families who participated last year and were chomping at the bit to come back. I started getting emails about camp in December, which was incredible. But keeping costs down is of the utmost priority, while also offering a really enriching experience, which is something that we are good at from our experience with other youth programs. The most shining example of which is Pop-Up Club, our after-school club for middle schoolers, as Era mentioned. We're in Wallenpaupack, Western Wayne, and Wayne Highlands school districts. We have 6 clubs a week throughout the school district, or the school year, excuse me. We work with the schools to provide free transportation to and from clubs, and kids can take late bus home. The program itself is free because of grants. So this is a really cool opportunity that introduces kids to resources and people, organizations, potential career paths, just opportunities that they probably don't get at home. So things like robotics and coding equipment, 3D printers, and also access to volunteers who join the program, like artists and entrepreneurs and chefs and businesses and banks who welcome us to come with a field trip. So we're really proud of being able to just give the kids access that they wouldn't have ordinarily. Funding helps us offer this free program. And this year is especially important to us because we were just informed that our primary funder, who has funded over 50% of the program since this program's inception in 2017, is shifting its funding priorities. And so we'll be losing this major source of sustaining funding. So we are committed to continuing this long-running program, but we're getting creative about how we can bring in more diversified funding. If we don't get, the full amount that we're used to operating with, then we're still going to run. We might have to reduce days of the week. We might have to scale back on some of the program time, planning time, have more of a hangout and a little bit less of the curriculum-based programming. And we'd really love to just keep it kind of at the highest caliber where we are now. So that's why we're including Pop-Up Club in our out-of-school time grant request. I'd like to end by passing the mic to Lisa Corcoran. She is one of the district counselors in the Wayne Highlands District, which is the school district with which we've had the longest running partnership. She helped us to found Pop-Up Club, was one of the people that came to the Cooperage Project and said, hey, we're really concerned about some of these fifth graders moving up to the middle school who have been involved in some of the primary after-school programs and didn't really have a clear place to go as they moved up. And that was sort of the first seed of Pop-Up Club. So, Lisa, let me pass this to you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's quite an honor to be here this evening, just because as an educator, a mom of an amazing young woman, Katie's here with me tonight, and she was way back in one of our first Pop-Up Clubs. But to be able to be in a room of women and to show her that this is so important, that women are everywhere and need to be everywhere. So when we're looking at kids from, I used to work in Stourbridge, which was the K-1-2. Now I'm in 3-4-5 and do a lot of work in the department with the high school. I was telling these ladies that somewhere we kind of fall off and kind of fail a little bit in that STEAM area with our girls, because in K-5, they're not afraid to get their hands dirty. They're not afraid to say, oh, I'm gonna mess up if I try that robot. But by the time they get to the high school, they're considered, if they go in any of these career tracks that are non-traditional, females are considered non-traditional students. And I said, somewhere along the line, I don't know how they got that title. I don't know how they got that label that they're non-traditional. So even though Pop-Up Club and Coop Camps are to a heterogeneous group, which is super important to keep that up, but I think the girls being right alongside their boy partners, their male partners, all through middle school, and seeing, we can do the same things. And for those guys to be like, yeah, we can learn. When you have someone on quilting, the non-traditional boy things. So that partnership, it's important for females as well as males, but it's just something that I personally have seen is such a need. It's also a need for our parents locally, because any kind of daycare situation, unfortunately, people are calling me at school asking, do you know a daycare? Do you know a babysitter? Do you know a tutor? And, it's heartbreaking to have to tell them, well, the waiting list is long. The list is, short on places that we would be comfortable doing that. Sorry, I promised them I wouldn't talk too long, but I have a tendency to do that.
Our biggest concern was all three of us.
It was all three of us.
Yes, we love these programs and we're passionate.
We love it so much.
1 minute for questions.
Yes.
If there are.
Sorry.
Question? No, it's fine.
Yes.
How are you handling transportation in the summertime?
The Pop-Up Club program runs just during the school year, so there isn't quite the same level. For Coop Camps, then it's just family members dropping their kids. But last year we did half-day camps, 4-hour camps, and really by request of the families, particularly families where the caregivers work all day, we expanded the day to be a full-day program to just ease some of those logistical challenges like transportation. Okay, thank you.
We are going to bring up another powerhouse, I'm sure full of energy, From the Greater Scranton YMCA, Megan and Tressa.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Megan Carnevale, and I am the Mission Advancement and Marketing Director at the Greater Scranton YMCA. I am joined by Tressa Parker. She's the Senior Education Director at the Greater Scranton YMCA. We're here to talk to you about our new Early Learning Center, which we opened this Monday, April 29th in Oliphant. We're at 1015 Underwood Road, kind of right across from the Mid-Valley School District. Before we dive into the specifics on the center and the playground equipment that we applied for funding to support, we want to talk to you quickly about how we got to where we're at. The need for child care services, just as we heard, is really great in our community, our state, nationally. We're seeing it here locally. Following the COVID-19 public health emergency, centers in our community have continued to close. At our facility, we currently have 197 kids enrolled in our Early Learning Center and YPALS programs, and 26 kiddos enrolled in our school age program. Of that total, 92 kids are currently receiving some form of financial assistance to offset that cost of child care. Prior to the opening of the new center in Oliphant, the wait list for services at our facility in Denver was 150 children. The current wait list is 127 kids. So in December of last year, Tressa started receiving an increased number of calls from parents who were really desperate for care for their children. These families had previously been enrolled in the center that we are now leasing in Oliphant. That center was closing, leaving many families in limbo. You see, accessible childcare is essential for our community to operate, our nation to operate, our economy to operate. I have 3 kiddos enrolled in the center right now, and it is, you know, I hear from my friends how difficult it is to find quality childcare in allowing parents to work, allowing women to return to work. So I personally know how impactful it can be. But that's where the Y steps in. So in early 2024, senior leaders at our YMCA signed the lease for the center, again located at 1015 Underwood Road in Oliphant. Our long-term goal is to own the space as long as the need for services continues to remain as it is now. Again, the center opened this past Monday, and we are hosting a ribbon cutting ceremony on Monday, May 6th. So it's a very exciting time for us. Yep. The center is 6,300 square feet, and we are licensed to serve 125 kiddos. Currently, 73 are already enrolled. And the curriculum is really the same as at the Dunmore facility. Another perk, enrolled kids will receive 1 free session of swim lessons annually, as well as a youth membership to the YMCA.
As of April, the Greater Scranton YMCA has invested $129,865 into renovating the new facility. These renovations have been funded solely by our YMCA. Our goal is to complete the project and open the center as quickly as possible to support these families that have been put out of care. As part of this work, we've updated 9 classrooms, including replacing the flooring, painting, purchasing and installing new equipment, supplies, new furniture to outfit the facility, and more. We've supported job seekers in our community. We've hired 16 full-time staff, 2 part-time staff, and this includes 3 staff that were employed by the previous center that closed down. Our long-term goal, as long as the community need remains, is to own this new center. The next phase of this project includes the outdoor playground. It's approximately 3,000 square feet. It's a $20,000 project that has been funded thus far by $15,000 grant from the Scranton Area Community Foundation. This leaves us a balance of $4,725. We've also applied to the PNC Foundation for a grant of $10,320 to support the purchase of a shade structure that will be installed on the playground. The purchase and installation of outdoor playground equipment will not only provide children with a daily opportunity for outdoor play, but will also fulfill the requirements of the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services and the Keystone STARS program. The STARS program and other additionals to the requirements. Equipment must be separated from infant, toddler, and preschool age children. Ample equipment must be available. The equipment must be age appropriate for the children that they are promoting. And 2 or more types of services are required. Smooth and soft for infants, and firmer and more difficult for the older children. You'll see photos at your tables of the playground in its current state, as well as the photos of some of the larger pieces of playground equipment that we have provided in our plan.
So in closing, we just wanted to, remind you that preschool is something we believe, as I'm sure you all do, all children should experience in allowing them to enter kindergarten ready for success. But childcare is an immense expense for families, especially multi-children families and kids that families that really want to provide their children with, platforms for success when they enter kindergarten. So the Greater Scranton YMCA is a charity, and we do not turn anyone away for an inability to pay. We did want to let you know that during our most recently completed fiscal year, $545,864 was awarded in our early childhood education department to families in need through foundational support, tax credits, United Way of Lackawanna Wayne County funding, etc. We take pride in the fact that we don't turn anyone away for an inability to pay. And thank you so much for allowing us to talk to you about our project. We're super excited about this new center, about the ribbon cutting on Monday. You're all invited if you'd like to come. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
There is a question from the audience. Will the John Moore facility still remain open for childcare?
Yes, definitely. Yep. We're actually expanding the center, the child care center in Dunmore also. We're renovating our second floor to open an additional few classrooms specifically to serve kiddos 0 to 2. The need for infant care, early childhood care like that, it's super in need. So yeah, we're expanding there too. Yep, they'll definitely remain open.
How many seasons do you get with the playgrounds?
It should be all 4.
Yeah. Well, meaning like how often will they be able to use it? Ideally year round. They go out, you can answer this much better than me.
So the Department of Human Services requires that children receive outside daily play every day. So it'll be a 4-season project.
Next up, we have from Junior Achievement of Northeastern PA, Susan McNabb.
Hi everyone, my name's Susan Magnat. I'm the president of Junior Achievement of Northeastern Pennsylvania. The goal of Junior Achievements throughout the country is to provide students with hands-on, interactive learning activities to help them connect with their learning in school with their future success. And we want every kid to graduate from high school with a vision of their own future success and a pathway to get there. If they're going to college, we want to put our programs and everyone else's programs in front of them so that they're making intentional choices when they're choosing their major, so that they're not transferring like my daughter did. It was a junior achievement fail in our house. Her junior year of college, she's going to be a teacher, but we could have done more, I think, to have that happen when she was a freshman. So we want to help all these kids get on track so they don't have student loans. If they're not going to college, and a lot of students aren't going to college, that's a great thing. There are so many pathways for kids right now who do not want to go to college, or that wasn't for them, and we want to help them get on those pathways so that they have this family-sustaining wage. We just worked with teachers from 25 different schools for our Inspire Career Discovery experience that was held 2 weeks ago at Mohegan Sun for 2,500 kids. It's a hands-on, it's not a career fair, it's a hands-on learning experience. There's 9 different career clusters. The kids are bussed in. At Geisinger, they suture bananas at the Geisinger table. There's robotic dogs from colleges. There's VR goggles where they do virtual welding, and the kids are just blown away. We had such a response, I think, from the companies that showed up. We had 85 plus companies and 25 districts that sent all those kids because the need is there for these kids to get connected with a future and get put on a path of success. in dealing with these schools, one particular public school we worked with, 2 amazing teachers. They said 150 kids, and they said, I'm tired of people saying these kids don't want to work. They said, my kids all have part-time jobs. And she said, they're going to graduate, and she said, if you give them a pathway, she said, they will do it. They just can't do it on their own. They'll go and be a welder. They will go and get a certificate and go into healthcare. They just need help. And she said, or they're going to graduate and have 3 part-time jobs and get lost in the system. So, but what I heard was there's hope. I mean, these kids will do it. We just have to work together as a community to help them do it. I'm here today about our middle school program, and this is all new, by the way. Junior Achievement, everything has been piloted. I've been there 20 months. We had a BizTown building, I don't know if you know that, or if your kids went there in Pittston. COVID changed a lot of things. It changed the fact that we don't have a BizTown building, but it's probably the best thing that ever happened because that was primarily 5th grade programs. As amazing as it is, we've been able to speak to the needs in the community and do all these new pilot programs that somehow seem to be working. So we piloted YES, it's called Your Economic Success last year at GAR Middle School in the spring. Great response from the educators, the volunteers, and the kids. So YES is a program where volunteers go into the classroom in the morning, the kids rotate through 4 different classrooms, and they get all hands-on interactive activities on STEM, personal finance, soft skills, on career exploration, and their eyes are just open to the possibilities for them. So we came to the Scranton Area Foundation and asked for funding last year for West Scranton High School girls to get funded for the 7th and 8th grade. We were very grateful to receive it, and we were able to bring that program to that district. So 200 girls at that school in the fall got this program. In the spirit of full disclosure, so did the boys, because when we went there, they were like, what are we going to do with 200 boys? So we got funding from PNC Bank that matched this funding, so we brought it to the whole entire district. But and so we'd love to do that again. It was a big hit. They would like to add the 6th grade. So what happens, you need 2 or 3 volunteers per classroom. We needed 40 volunteers, and these are some of the companies that stepped up for these kids. Fidelity Bank, PNC, Wells Fargo, the Scranton Area Foundation, Dempsey, Santa Fe, the PA State Police, Enterprise, and there's a couple more I didn't even list. So these kids not only got to experience the activities, but they had volunteer role models in front of them talking about their jobs. And you can see these light bulbs going off in kids' eyes. So we do a survey at the end of Inspire and at the end of YES, and I thought you'd be interested in hearing some of the quotes. So one of the girls from West Scranton said one of the things she liked the best was the STEM activities. And we asked the question, what would you say to a volunteer? So she said, thank you for showing the students all of the possibilities we could do after high school. Another little girl wanted to be a physical therapist or an orthodontist. And she said, thank you for helping me figure out more about careers. I learned what I might like to do when I'm older. I also learned how to deal with finance-related things. Future traveling nurse. She liked learning about budgeting the best. Thank you for helping to put my mind in the right direction towards potential future opportunities. So the weird thing is, I talk about that, and then the kids write it in their surveys, and so it's true. And people have been coming back time and time again. We piloted it last year. This year we're bringing it to 12 districts. We have 5 scheduled for May. It's incredibly impactful, and I think it's really, while the boys did receive the program, the girls did too. And it's incredibly important for these girls to get the STEM activities like we've been talking about in front of them. You actually hear them say, I never thought I could do that. I mean, you talk to the volunteers, they're like crying. I cry all the time. I'm like, don't know why I'm not crying right now, because I usually am. But it's really incredible what kids respond to. And the girls need to be financially responsible. A lot of these girls were in big public districts. They're gonna have kids and with no dads. It happens all the time. They're gonna have to learn, whether they have an intact family or not intact family and have children, they're gonna have to understand finance and how to run their lives and manage a bank account. So all the kids need it. We see it from the more affluent schools. In another school this year, she said the kids are so bad. And I'm like, they're really not bad. I mean, all the schools are good. But she said COVID destroyed these kids. She's like, they don't talk to each other. They put their heads down. They're not in the hallway. So We can't do anything about that, but what we can do is connect these kids with a vision for their future, and they'll do it. So I don't know if you guys like women's basketball, but we became really big fans of Caitlin Clark. My daughter is actually a Hawkeye, and her roommate's on the basketball team, so we're really big fans. Caitlin Clark has changed the women's sports in a lot of ways, along with a lot of the other women that are playing. Quote from her, she said, "I was once that little girl from Iowa who was inspired to dream big, real big, and my dream was more than women's basketball. It was possibility turned into reality. I'm still that girl from Iowa, but now it's my turn to inspire." So we want the girls at West Scranton and all of these other districts to be inspired. We want to give them yes days. We want them to think big, dream big, and have their eyes open to all the opportunities they may have never dreamed possible for their lives. Thank you.
I'm very excited to now bring to the stage from CASA of Lackawanna County, Joan Peterson and Lisa Murphy.
Thank you. Okay, mic check. Can everyone hear me? All right, so I'm Joan Peterson, the director of CASA of Lackawanna, and I wanted to thank you all so much for inviting me to come to this tonight. This is our
board chair, Lisa Murphy.
And she's agreed to join me today to talk to you a little bit about CASA. So I'm going to say, when I was first invited to come speak to everyone here tonight, I thought this was going to be like Shark Tank. But you all seem really nice. All right. So our CASA program is a small volunteer-driven organization that recruits, trains, and supervises volunteers who advocate for children in the foster care system. So, in the spirit of Shark Tank, we're seeking $7,500 to help us recruit and train 5 more volunteers this fall who can advocate for 12 additional children. Those funds would be used to move our volunteer coordinator, to help to move our volunteer coordinator to full-time. So right now, last year, CASA of Lackawanna is 1.5 staff. So that's me and a half-time volunteer coordinator. 25 dedicated volunteers provided 1,522 hours of volunteer advocacy for 77 children. 77 of Lackawanna County's most vulnerable children, kids in foster care, visiting them in their foster homes, residential facilities, going to family visits, connecting them to resources that were sorely needed, making sure they were getting the therapy that kids who are in the foster care system desperately need. And we provided over 230 detailed reports to the court for quarterly court hearings that go on to review every case of every child in the foster care system. So it's a very hard thing that we ask our volunteers to do. And they are incredibly dedicated, and we are incredibly grateful to them. But we need more volunteers because there are still more children in foster care that we can't serve at our current staffing level. What we provide for children is not easy to count. It's not like backpacks or shoes or hot meals, and those are wonderful things that people provide to kids, but what we give them is hope. We're providing a consistent, caring adult who can change everything for that child and for their family. So we have volunteers who have worked with children who are in the system for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and even in the case of one dedicated volunteer here in Carbondale, 4 years before that child had a safe, permanent home. Wherever he went, whatever he was doing, she made sure to visit him every single month. And she's still in his life today as an honorary aunt. So wonderful relationships that we build with the children that we serve. So, I want to tell you a story. This is just one random story, of course names changed for confidentiality, of a child that we served. We're going to call her Faith. So Faith was sleeping in a car with her mother when she came into care. Mother tested positive for drugs, and the child went into foster care. They had been evicted from their apartment. Things were very bleak for this young family. So when she met Hope, her casa, she was 9 years old. She was angry at her mother, understandably so. And she seemed pretty content at that point. She was going to stay in this nice foster home. Her foster parents, frankly, were lovely people. We need more of them, too. So Hope, her casa, made sure that she and her mother were getting counseling to work on their relationship. And that Mom was doing the things that she needed to do on her family service plan to hopefully, get her daughter back and be reunified. And so Hope, this was a cool story. So it turned out that little Faith had a sister. We're going to call her Verity, who was, at this point, I think around 19. And what she had done is when Mom and her little sister and her were evicted, she moved in with her friends. Because this was a very smart, bright, ambitious young woman. She moved in with her friends so she could finish high school. And she'd been accepted to college. And so we got her connected with the foster parents so she could visit regularly with that foster family, with her sister. And she called us up for help because she had found herself a place to stay to finish high school. She wasn't connected with those homeless services that would have enabled her to fill out the FAFSA as an independent student. So what we were able to do for her is to write a letter to get her a dependency override so that when she went to college, she could be an independent student. So she was very grateful. We were very grateful that she's, doing so well and continues to be a support to her family. So this story does have a happy ending. Mom got an apartment, got her act together, got her daughter back, and a year later, they maintain a connection with Hope, their casa, and they check in now and then. She'll call for help, with an issue or finding a resource in the community. So her advocate continues to be a support for her as well. So this is a good story. And this volunteer has this lifetime connection with the child and family. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it is wonderful that we can provide some lifetime mentors for kids who have had difficult situations. All right, some of our volunteers stay with CASA for years. So Lisa here is our board chair now. And Lisa was a CASA volunteer from the very first class of CASA volunteers in Lackawanna County and has served 24 children during her time advocating with CASA. And
very rewarding. It was a very, very rewarding experience. And I myself do still have some longtime friendships with some of the children that I advocated for, being invited to weddings and graduations.
So Lisa has stepped up from being a CASA to being on our board of directors now, which we are very grateful for. So she is the heart and soul of our CASA program. So we have, thank you. So we still have, why I'm here is that there are another 200 kids who were in foster care in Lackawanna County last year who didn't have a CASA advocate, because we're over capacity with our current staffing. It's me and a half-time volunteer coordinator. We need help. We need to be able to move that volunteer coordinator up to full-time. That full-time volunteer coordinator could support up to 30 volunteers who on an average advocate for 2.5 children per year. And there's a handout on your tables with the math on it, with the numbers that we would be able to serve. So if we had some additional funding, we would be able to have the staffing to support 45 volunteers, and then we would be able to serve 112 kids a year, which would be a much bigger dent in that number of children who don't have access to an advocate. So that's why we were asking for your support for CASA of Lackawanna County and these vulnerable kids in foster care.
We have 1 minute for questions. Is there any questions for CASA?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the training program? What do volunteers have to do when qualify?
That's a great question. So our CASA volunteers are required to get criminal background check, all of the required clearances, and there is a 33-hour training that goes through essentially social work 101 and also 3 hours of court observation before they're sworn in by a judge as a CASA advocate.
And also minimum volunteer commitment?
So the initial training is a huge commitment, and then getting started on a case takes a bit more time, but once you are trained and sworn in and you have a case, it's about 10 hours a month.
A lot of volunteers do.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now ready to hear from Workforce Wayne, and I will welcome to the stage Pantania Shadamani.
Hi everyone, my name is Pantea, and I'm honored to be here tonight representing our initiative called Empower Her on behalf of Wayne Pike Workforce Alliance, also known as Workforce Wayne. So to give you a little overview, we are one of 9 community education councils in Pennsylvania, as well as a PA CareerLink affiliate. So essentially what this means is that we are the people side of economic development. What we do is we are dedicated to identifying, creating, and providing educational opportunities that build our workforce and supports lifelong learning. Our services start as early as kindergarten and goes all the way up to senior citizens. We believe that education is the key to improving economic growth for individuals, communities, and our region. I'm here today to ask you for your help in supporting our initiative called Empower Her, which is a program that's designed to foster participation and advancement for women in STEM fields. The project takes a holistic approach where they build childcare services into its framework. We offer a comprehensive curriculum that is tailored to the needs and interests of women in STEAM. This includes academic coursework, mentorship, networking opportunities, and career advancement support, which are things like resume writing, interviewing skills, and assistance with job placements. Empower Her, it's not just a program, it's a lifeline for women who are aspiring to pursue careers in STEM fields. It's a comprehensive initiative that's designed to empower women by providing them with the necessary tools and supports to succeed in traditionally male-dominated industries. Through partnerships with licensed childcare providers, Empower Her participants have access to affordable childcare services, enabling them to balance their academic and professional goals with their family responsibilities. In our region, as we've heard from many people here, accessibility and affordability of childcare is a major barrier, particularly to women and particularly to those pursuing STEM careers. So as we are a grant-funded organization, and all of our grants, we allocate our resources meticulously to cover every part of our programming. So all of these initiatives are already in place. However, what the grants do not cover is childcare costs. It's not an allowable cost or supportive services. So out of all of the people that walk into our office that qualify for programming, training, on-the-job training, certifications, post-secondary education, majority of the people that we cannot support currently are women because of childcare needs. We can even cover supportive services currently to cover gas mileage to and from trainings. But the women that are walking into our office with their kids, because they have nowhere else for these kids to go, are not able to take us up on these career pathways that we are creating for them. So This creates a significant gap for us to serve women in our community. This is where the support of women in philanthropy becomes absolutely crucial. With the assistance of WIP funding, we can bridge this gap and provide essential childcare support to women participating in Empower Her. This funding will enable us to partner with licensed childcare providers and ensure that our participants have access to affordable childcare services to pursue their academic and professional goals. The impact of WIP funding goes beyond just providing childcare support. By removing this barrier, we actually empower women to fully engage in the Empower Her program. This allows them to focus on their studies, networking opportunities, and career advancement initiatives without the added burden of childcare responsibilities. This in turn will foster a more diverse and inclusive workforce in STEM fields, driving innovation and economic growth in our region. Without the support of WIP funding, the sustainability and effectiveness of Empower Her would be compromised. We would continue to see talented women held back by the lack of accessible childcare options. And this will continue to perpetuate the gender gap in STEM fields and hinder the economic progress of our communities. The support of women in philanthropy is not just an investment in the Empower Her project, it's an investment in the future of our community. By providing essential childcare support, WIP funding will enable us to empower women to pursue their passions and excel in their chosen careers and continue to drive positive change. So thank you all for considering Empower Her and your commitment to supporting women in our community. I know that together we can break down barriers, foster diversity, and create a more inclusive workforce in STEAM fields. So once we realized that this was a need, we actually called and contacted every single child care provider in Wayne and Pike County. And we have started a registry and we've got a partnership with them where we can ensure some spots because they are mostly either waitlisted or extremely unaffordable. Before this funding was even an option, because it is a current barrier that we face on the daily, this is a project that we've already started. So now it's just a matter of finding a way to fund it.
Whoa, look at all these beautiful women coming to the stage for Penn State University, Melissa and her crew. I'll let you introduce them.
Good evening. My name is Shelley Egan, and I am the elementary principal at Old Forge Elementary. Tonight I am here with Dr. Melissa Labuda and Christine Ostrowski from Penn State University, Scranton. And we are here tonight to talk about our program that we offer, which is the Teachers Behavioral Health Training. And the Teachers Behavioral Health Training was organized after community agencies, higher ed leaders, and school district leaders came together to discuss and come up with a solution to help our teachers who are struggling in the classroom over the ever-increasing behaviors of our students. Our current system of professional development for teachers and even our teacher preparation programs are not equipped to provide the training that teachers need with what they're facing on a daily basis regarding the serious signs and symptoms of mental health that we are seeing in our students. And this was even prior to COVID. The objectives of the training program are to provide our teachers with proactive and responsive strategies when problem behaviors, even before problem behaviors occur, but also what to do when they occur, and to develop resiliency in our teachers so that they can approach the daily struggles that they're seeing and take care of themselves. Through the financial support of community agencies, organizations, and foundations, we have been able to provide this program free of cost to our teachers, our educators throughout Lackawanna and Wayne County. The training is delivered in 4 modules. The first module focuses on mental health, signs and symptoms, common disorders. The next session will focus on trauma-informed approaches for teachers in the classroom. The third module focuses on proactive and responsive strategies to classroom behavior, and that includes training in restorative practices. And then the final module focuses on community building in the classroom, but also on teacher self-care. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Labuda, who's going to give you the statistics, the logistics, and the outcomes of the program to date.
Okay, so just really quickly, one of the most important things that we found when we started this is the 4th year we just finished, is that our teachers need support. They need to learn self-care. So one of the things that is unique with this program is we've changed it every year. We continue to change it based on the teacher need. For the first 2 years, we had 9 teachers from Valley View, Dunmore, and Old Fort, so 3 from each for the first 2 years. What we realized is more teachers needed help. So we focused in the beginning on elementary schools. We've opened it up. And now we had to change our program. So that took me some time to get everything organized and get new people to present, because right now I have, including me, I have 7 different people that present these different modules. So the important thing to remember is that all of these people are doing this out of the goodness of their heart for the past 4 years. So what your financial gift gives us is the ability for me to give them a little bit of money so that they can pay for their gas and they can pay for their time. So that's a really important thing. So over the first 2 years, we did that. Over the 3rd year, we had a total of 19 participants, and we had nurses, paraprofessionals, social workers, guidance counselors from Western Wayne, Dunmore, Old Forge, NEIU 19, Valley View, and Wallenpaupack school districts. And we also offered this over the summer, thinking that we could try and get some school administrators to come, but we got teachers. We got lots of teachers. We had 12 participants over the summer, and the school districts were Old Forge, Abington Heights, Western Wayne, Dunmore, Riverside, Carbondale, Valley View, and Mid Valley. So, and the important thing to note is that this isn't elementary school anymore. We have adapted the program from the start so that we serve all students from and teachers from elementary school, middle school, high school, the IU, everybody comes. So what is it that your funding has provided? Number one, I can give a stipend to all of those people that are giving their time. And second thing is supplies, food for them. And it doesn't seem like it's an important thing, but when they come in, and Shelley, you see it too, when they come in, I do the first one, by the way. When they come in, they get some food, they sit down, they relax, they start to talk to one another because they're from different school districts, and they really become, friends. So it's camaraderie there as well. So it's an important piece. We give them an hour break so that they can take time for themselves. Many of them, since it's on the Penn State Scranton campus, they take a walk outside around our campus, something they're not able to do when they're working in the schools. So it's a way for us to kind of build in taking care of themselves. So where do we want to go from here? So at this point, both of us want to get more school administrators and more teachers, which means we need Act 45 and Act 48 hours. There we go. So we both need to do a lot of paperwork in order for that to happen for our teachers. We'd like to offer this program more often. But one of the problems with that is that oftentimes our school districts are strapped for, I'm trying to find the person that I'm supposed to. Substitutes, thank you. I'm having one of those nights. They're having trouble finding substitutes, so it's really difficult, but we want to offer it more often and to administrators. And let's see, what else do we want to do?
Just share that email.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I happened to ask this last time, you know, does anyone have any final thoughts about this? And this was from 2 teachers. It was a husband and wife team. My husband and I learned so much and thoroughly enjoyed our time gaining insight from other educators and stakeholders. This was one of the best PDs I've ever attended, and I spread the word in my district. We didn't find out about it in Western Wayne, so if word could be spread that next year so my colleagues would sign up, that would be great. I also think a great PD to run early in the school year because she wants to do everything that she learned, she wants to implement it. And my practice and my students have and will continue to benefit from the insights from these trainings. I only wish we could attend more of them as I looked forward to them each month very much. Thank you so much for putting this together. We've never left a PD wanting more in the best way. So we were thrilled because again, it's something that shows that this program is actually working, and I actually have the numbers to prove that it's working. I do pre and post tests, and they're really successful. They get 85 to 90% difference between pre-test and post-test. So they are learning and they are implementing the things that we are teaching them. Any questions?
So you mentioned that you've morphed the program and changed the program, but it is still focused on training the teachers to assist with their students' mental health, right? Or is that changing?
It's broad. We've also based on communication with teachers, we've also added child maltreatment module. We've also added self-care. So we've added different elements based on that. We focus on one day mental health and trauma, because mental health and trauma are linked. And then because of that, we do the classroom management things because they're all linked together. So does that answer the question?
What's the question? Is this program sponsored or taught by Penn State affiliated staff?
Aha! It's me. I'm the one. And the thing to remember again, I go back to the fact that I do this on my spare time. I'm not paid for this. I do this because it's important to me, and all of everyone that I've brought on board to this is doing it because they want to.
They come from Marywood University. Mm-hmm. I take part in presenting a module. The United Way of Lackawanna and Wayne County Educational Director takes part in it. A licensed social worker does a module. So we look for people that have that expertise and that practical and professional experience to be relevant to give that information to the teachers.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to bring up Mary Ann with United NEPA Alliance. And I think you have someone with you.
Right now, there is a woman who is told she will have to carry her dead fetus to term, even though her life is in danger. There is a young 10-year-old girl who is raped and now forced to carry her stepfather's child. A woman is driving over state lines to receive life-saving reproductive care, knowing she's risking being arrested upon returning home. These stories are cruel and unjust. Women all over the country are being forced back into the dark ages by politicians who think they know what's best. 14 states have banned all forms of reproductive care, while 7 states have limited access to reproductive care, regardless if the woman's life is in danger. It is time, now more than ever, for women to stand up and scream no more. We will not allow old white men to tell us what we can and cannot do with our bodies. My name is Marianne Velez. I am the founder, president, and CEO of United NEPA Alliance, a local nonprofit based here in northeastern region of Pennsylvania. We are a small nonprofit with a big heart. Our mission is to educate, empower, and elevate marginalized communities throughout the Northeast region. We are a registered charitable and civic organization. Our charitable programs have served approximately 30,000 families in Luzerne County, 15,000 families in Lackawanna County. We accomplish this by being fiscally responsive and conservative with every dollar we receive. We are an all-volunteer organization with dedicated working professionals who are on our mission to elevate, educate, and empower every community throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. In 2020, 2022, and now again in 2024, we are rolling out our We Can't Wait voter education program. In 2020, with no funding, we reached about 5,000 women in Lackawanna and Luzerne, and a little over 1,000 women in Wayne County. In 2022, we increased those numbers significantly to 30,000 women in Luzerne and Lackawanna County and 15,000 women in Wayne County with a mere budget of $5,000. With an additional $5,000, we can double those numbers. An additional 10,000 will triple those numbers. Imagine 90,000 educated, empowered, and angry women marching to the polls to utilize their vote to ensure that their rights are protected in November. We aim to reach women between the ages of 18 to 35 to educate and empower them by providing pertinent information about candidates currently running for office. We kicked off our program on April 1st, 2024 via Zoom with just over 120 attendees. Our guest speaker was Keir Bradford Gray, who unfortunately did not win her primary. The online event was extremely successful. The women in attendance asked pertinent questions while engaging in thought-provoking conversations. The women were empowered, energized, and ready to march to the polls. Throughout the summer, we aim to hold in-person events throughout Lackawanna, Luzerne, and Wayne counties, educating women on candidates who vow to hold women's rights at the forefront of their agenda. Utilizing various forms of marketing such as email blasts, social media, flyers, and mailers, we'll ensure we reach our target goal. In September, we will ramp up our program to get the vote out with ongoing initiatives up to Election Day. We finished the year through our educational voter program by educating voters on how to hold their elected officials accountable for the promises they made while on the campaign trail. I ask you, when your daughters and granddaughters ask, which side of the aisle did you stand on to protect their rights, how will you answer? I know I will look my granddaughter in the face and tell her I fought with everything I had to ensure her rights remained intact. Thank you so much for your time today and the opportunity to speak.
All right, and we are up to our final presentation for this evening. We are going to hear from Dr. Catherine Cullen from the Broadway Theater League of Scranton.
Old adage, here I am, last but not least, and following such a dynamic presentation about women's rights. Why is Broadway here, for goodness sakes? Well, first of all, on behalf of 65 children in the Carbondale Area School District, I'm asking for your support. Carbondale is one of the poorest school districts in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 72% economically disadvantaged families. 72%. And the fourth highest special ed population in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Carbondale, right where we are tonight, having our dinner and our desserts, there are children who don't have enough to eat, whose parents struggle, who are from single parent families. Did I lose? Okay. Single parent families, and who strive in school to succeed. We know the statistics between children who are disadvantaged economically and who struggle in school, and certainly children who are designated special education and success in school and in the future. On behalf of the directors of Broadway Theater of Northeastern Pennsylvania and Frank Blasey, the executive director, I'm grateful to ask you for your support for our after-school program in Carbondale. I've worked in education for 53 years. I was an elementary teacher, a middle level teacher. I taught college. I was at the University of Scranton as an early childhood professor with an expertise in mathematics and integration of arts learning. I know STEAM because I taught young teachers how to create classroom lessons that integrated the arts into that which they teach, such as science and mathematics and engineering and technology. We know the results if children are well educated and the curriculum is integrated, and that is that kids that don't learn the way others do, and most special ed children need alternative educational plans. The arts provide that. So I'm here as the advocate for the big A in STEAM, although I do respect teachers who teach all academic areas, as I have done in my past. Our partnership at Broadway Theater is with Arts and Education, Northeastern Pennsylvania at the NEIU, Ballet Theater Scranton, the Ritz Theater, Lackawanna College. It goes on and on. We've developed relationships in our community to provide excellence in education through the arts. All of our children in Carbondale will attend a Broadway theater production next year. This year they came to Annie. There were 90 children who would never, ever, ever have the opportunity to go to a Broadway play. And they were thrilled. They had more fun than you could ever imagine, singing and dancing and jumping all over, and we didn't care, we loved it. So we hope to continue this project. Meg Duffy, who's the principal at the elementary center in Carbondale, is a former art teacher and very appreciative. I put a handout on the tables. It doesn't look as great as everybody else's, but on the back are the artists that are working. Lindsay Barrett-George is a nationally recognized artist. She's a book publisher, and she is a phenomenal Wayne County artist. Those of you in Wayne County probably know Lindsay very well. Yeah, we love her, don't we? She's awesome. And she and I are the white-haired ladies that have worked in the arts for so long. And Connor McGuigan is a wonderful actor and director. So what we do is we integrate theater and visual arts to help kids learn math and science. And their scores are going up in school. Meg is thrilled with the results. We are a year-long program, so it's every week that the children receive arts lessons from professional artists. Broadway Theater really isn't getting anything for this. I'm here for the Carbondale kids. We get nothing. We're just supporting them and trying to get help for school districts, especially the kids in Carbondale at this venture. So if you'd like to find a bunch of kids going to a Broadway play and having two fabulous professional artists after school learning about STEAM, think about us. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? That means you covered it all. Thank you so much. So let me remind you kind of how this works. So On the ballot is the organization's name and how much they have requested. You can allocate up to but not above what they've requested. And at the end, your match should total on the blue ballot $30,000. Not more and not less. On the green ballot for Wayne County, again, the organization is listed the amount that they have requested, and your grant recommendation should total $11,000. Not more and not less. What we're going to do is give you some time, if you haven't started filling those out, to think about where you'd like to see that money allocated. Place that money where you feel it's important. And then some of the Scranton Area Foundation staff will be walking around to collect those up. We need a little bit of time to do the calculation and average out those ballots, so we'll be taking some time to do that, about 15 to 20 minutes. While we're doing that, I keep seeing plates of desserts walking by me. So there's desserts out now, there's coffee, and the bar is still open. So please take this time now to enjoy some voting. Do your ballots. If you're not a member, get a chance to get your desserts first. And do some networking. Get a chance to meet not just who's at your table, but the other women in the room. And we'll see you back here a little bit before 8 o'clock, where we can announce our grant recipients, the amount that they've received, and then we'll end with some photos. So thank you. It's my great pleasure to welcome back to the stage the President and CEO of the Scranton Area Foundation, Laura Duchessi, and from the Wayne County Community Foundation, their Secretary, Meg Welker, to announce our grant recipients and their amounts this evening.
Thanks, Amy. Meg, all I can say is I think we're very fortunate as a region to have such incredible organizations doing so much incredible, fantastic work, and the leadership that's displayed. I think it's very difficult to make these decisions, but we've done it.
We have.
So I'm going to turn it over to you to start.
Sounds good. I think Ryan said it really well at the start of this evening. Let's be inspired together. So thank you all for being here, and thanks for doing the great work that you do. So we have the results in. Do we have a drum roll? Okay. We have awarded the Lackawanna Sanctuary Environmental Education Center $2,900 from Lackawanna County and $1,500 from Wayne, totaling $4,400. Congratulations.
And we've awarded the Women's Resource Center a total of $5,300.
And to our friends at the Cooperage Project, $6,000.
And to the Greater Scranton YMCA, $3,300. To Junior Achievement of Northeastern Pennsylvania, $4,000. To CASA of Lackawanna County, $6,000.
And Workforce Wayne, $3,000. Me again, my alma mater, Penn State University, $3,300 from Lackawanna and $500 from Wayne, for a total of $3,800.
United NEPA Alliance, $2,000. And Broadway Theater League of Scranton, $3,200. For a total of $41,000 donated tonight from the Women in Philanthropy supporters of Lackawanna and Wayne County. Congratulations, and thank you so much for all that you do. Reiterate the fact that it was probably the largest amount of applications that came into Women in Philanthropy in all of our years, with 34 applications and 10 selected tonight. And out of those 10, 10 wonderful presentations doing transformative work for our region. So we really want to thank you for all that you do and for presenting and sharing your message and your mission with all of us tonight. And a huge thank you to all of our supporters. I'm going to, at this point, invite Ryan Jennings to the stage, and obviously she's going to want to talk about some of the things that are going to be happening next in Wayne County. It's really an exciting time. I think we're all really thrilled to have this partnership. So great to have you.
My remarks are going to be brief because we don't yet have a panel of upcoming events. We are very much building this plane while flying it, so thank you all for safely getting here with us. We are working with our leadership and our the folks that have donated to Women in Philanthropy to build what our program will be in collaboration with Scranton Area Foundation. So we don't yet have upcoming events, but please stay tuned. All of you are now on our email list if you donated today or before today. If you would like to be on our newsletter list for upcoming events, you can do so on our website or see our staff, Anna, Connor, or myself, and we'll get you signed up for more information. But more to come as we are able to really safely land this flight. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to turn it back over to Laura, but can't do that without a Wayne County good night, which is watch out for deer and be safe.
We all feel very lucky to have Ryan's leadership in northeastern Pennsylvania. Our goals at the Scranton Area Community Foundation are always focusing on what we can do together in northeastern Pennsylvania. So thank you to you and to your board and to your incredible supporters for this partnership. Thank you to the incredible team at the Scranton Area Community Foundation that keep Women in Philanthropy and all of the other things that we do together moving forward. And you know, with that, we want to make sure that we encourage everyone that has received a grant award tonight, which is all of our participants, to meet in the plaza outside for photographs. That's something that we certainly want to capture tonight. And we also want to thank the many Women in Philanthropy supporters that are a part of Women in Philanthropy, over 125 strong. Everything that you contribute, time, talent, and treasure, makes this and everything else possible. So we have a lot of exciting things in the year ahead for our 10th anniversary. We're going to be having a summer event, and we're going to be hearing from some of our foundation partners at the Weinberg Foundation. A lot of exciting things this year, as well as our annual end of the year event where we'll be celebrating so many of the founding members and the life members and all of the things that we've done together over the past 10 years. So with that, a huge thank you, and remember to please stay for photos. Thanks again.